What's up guys, Brad here, aka Home Theater Gamer, and in this video, let's talk about Xbox Series X backwards compatibility and HDR support, and what that means for us home theater gamers. So Microsoft's initial reveal of the Xbox Series X briefly mentioned backwards compatibility and HDR support for older titles. At the time, details were scarce with phrases thrown around like improved boot and load times, more stable frame rates, higher resolutions, and improved image quality. Now, those phrases sound good and all, but what improvements could we actually see from the upcoming console? Well, Microsoft recently released more information through an Xbox Wire article, and if I'm being honest, it sounds pretty awesome for those of us who like to keep our old games around and play through them again. According to this Xbox Wire article, backwards compatible games run natively on the Xbox Series X hardware, running with the full power of the CPU, GPU, and the SSD. No boost mode, no downclocking, the full power of the Xbox Series X for each and every backwards compatible game. This means that all titles run on the peak performance they were originally designed for, many times with even higher performance than the game saw on their original launch platform, resulting in higher and more steady frame rates and rendering at their maximum resolution and visual quality. Backwards compatible titles also see significant reductions in in-game load times from the massive leap in performance from our custom NVMe SSD, which powers the Xbox Velocity architecture. So essentially, this sounds like a huge upgrade for those of us who play our older games on a 4K TV or projector. And while the Xbox One X did offer upgraded resolutions and better anisotropic filtering on select older titles from the original Xbox and Xbox 360 library of games, that library of backwards compatible titles that got an Xbox One X enhanced patch pales in comparison to the promised thousands of games at launch of the Xbox Series X. But it sounds like resolution isn't the only thing getting an upgrade. Nope, they've actually figured out a way to add HDR support to select backwards compatible titles as well. From the same Xbox Wire article, in partnership with the Xbox Advanced Technology Group, Xbox Series X delivers a new, innovative HDR reconstruction technique which enables the platform to automatically add HDR support to games. As this technique is handled by the platform itself, it allows us to enable HDR with zero impact to the game's performance, and we can also apply it to the Xbox 360 and original Xbox titles developed almost 20 years ago, well before the existence of HDR. Now, I'm not going to lie, this is a feature I didn't know I wanted, but I honestly can't wait to check it out. Playing older games like Psychonauts with their already crazy and unique art style seems like a great fit for HDR, provided they can make the list of compatible games. But exactly how are they doing it? Well, Adam Fairclough, aka Evil Boris, someone you may know from channels like Digital Foundry and HDTV Test, and also the guy that came up with the Luminance heat map technique to analyze HDR footage, recently made a video diving deeper into the tech that achieves this SDR to HDR conversion. Now, I highly recommend checking out his video to get a better understanding of what's going on behind the scenes, but to briefly summarize, using AI machine learning, it takes a standard dynamic range signal, analyzes it and compares it to other HDR titles, tone maps both color and luminance values to something higher, then reverses it into an HDR10 signal. This, ladies and gentlemen, is called inverse tone mapping, and it's very, very exciting. The article also mentions the possibility of doubling the frame rate of select titles, going from 30 frames per second to 60 frames per second, 60 frames per second to 120 frames per second, you get the idea. This will definitely breathe new life into a lot of older titles, but I don't foresee it working on every game. A lot of older games, especially those developed for the original Xbox and Xbox 360, were developed with their game engines tied to their frame rate. Big issues and problems can arise when a game is meant to be played at 30 frames per second, but is instead played at 60 frames per second. A simple thing like weapon degradation can become a big issue, with the weapon degrading twice as fast due to the doubling of the frame rate. Hopefully Microsoft will be careful with this and prevent it from happening, but we honestly won't know until we get the console in our hands. And that's going to wrap up this video. What are your thoughts on the backwards compatibility and HDR support for the Xbox Series X? Let me know in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video, give it a big thumbs up, and if you're into home theater and gaming, hit that subscribe button and don't forget to click that bell notification. I post new content every single week. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one where I get into an argument with someone who ends up stealing my bike.
I don't make monkeys, I just trade them.